Good morning, YouTube. I'm a little bit late to the party because it is the 3rd of January, but I've just not physically had the time, hence why I look exhausted and I have wet hair because I've just got it out the shower and yeah, chaos. So, 2020, what are my intentions for going ahead in this year? So this kind of gives me an idea of what I should definitely be doing. I've been thinking about this for the last few weeks, but being so exhausted and not having enough time has definitely cemented what I want to do. And much like last year where it all kind of fell under one category, this year it falls under one category as well, which is self-care. Again, it's another one of those ones that's like hashtag self-care because, today I'm using this. Like, no, this is genuine self-care, not in a selfish way, but in a looking after yourself way, because over the last 6 months I've realised kind of how much I've let drop to the wayside, how much I've given up, and what an effect it's having on me. But it's not just me that it then has an effect on. It then has an effect, like a knock-on effect on Leo and Gigi, because Gigi is a person and Gigi is important. It also has like a knock-on effect of what I can then do to support other people, and it has a ripple effect. So yeah, 2020 is the year of self-care for me anyway. So the first thing it boils down to for me is creating a work-life balance. Now, this has just become, again, sheer craziness through my own fault. This is me, because I like to try and help as many people as possible. I do not like saying no. And it means that I've put myself in some really, really quite stressful situations last year. Not this year, last year. So back in August when my family came to visit, I worked 4 jobs in 1 week, which is just insanity. And it's not good for me because, I'm like, what am I doing today? Where am I supposed to be? What time do I start? And it's just, I just don't know where I'm going to be or what's happening. And I just didn't have time to do anything. Now, while I have granted whittled that down to 1 job now is the time to kind of work on getting that balance back and getting into a routine. So now I just have to be in one place. It makes life a lot easier. So the first part of my self-care is to get a work-life balance. And that's really important because thinking back on it, that's what ultimately started me doing like a 3-4 day week, was the fact that I was working a full-time job. I was, there was no set schedule. Excuse me. I was at H&M at the time in their call centre, and you could work mornings, mid-shift, late shift, 7 days a week. And I went the whole of December without a single day off the same day as Leo. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And that's how I ended up doing like a 3 or 4 day week. So I ended up spending time with Leo because ultimately that's the most important thing in the world to me. And that's what kind of kicked off my, what do I want from a work-life balance? I want to be able to spend time with the people that matter most to me. That is the most important thing. Not making loads of money, not, working every hour so I can like spend loads of money on things. No. The most important thing to me is spending time with Leo. It's not a financial thing. So yeah, that is definitely the first thing on my list that I want to kind of get down this year, is a work-life balance so that I can get settled into it. Not like a set in stone routine. It doesn't have to be that kind of rigid, but get into some sort of routine where I know where I'm going, I know what I'm doing, and I have time to do the things that I enjoy and I love, and I get time to spend with Leo, because that's the most important thing in the world to me. So it has already started to a certain degree. So on Sundays, every Sunday, because I'm there all day on my own, I go in an hour early and I start with a cup of tea and like a biscuit or a bagel or some kind of treat from the cafe down the road, Little Fitzroy. That is my Sunday ritual. And every time I do it, it just sets me up for the day and it makes my day so much better. Whereas, you know, if I'm here, there, everywhere doing this job, what job am I doing today? Am I working for them or am I working for them? It just doesn't happen. And it was just stressing me out. So yeah, little things like that are slowly creeping in, and it does make me, I can already feel the difference of how much happier and just how much better I feel for having that little bit of a routine, that little bit of a schedule. Also getting into a routine, I want to make space for exercise, hobbies, and time out. I've got myself a little thing here. So exercise is a big one because, you know, I used to walk to work because I had the time. If I'm working 5-6 days a week, I don't have the spare time to do that. Like, I don't even have time to go grocery shopping. I'm not going to have time to walk to work. So I want to get into that schedule, that routine, so that I can, you know, walk to work, or I can go swimming, because I don't even think I went swimming at all last year, and I love swimming. Like, you know, swimming, yoga, walking, cycling, now I've got the bike. All of these things I want to make space, I want to make time for. Hobbies. Things like, you know, it's not really a hobby, it's something that I just do. Baking bread, which I've currently got in the oven right now. Baking bread, making tempeh is a new one, fermenting stuff, YouTube. You know, I want to learn Japanese. What else have I written down? My meditation group. That's a big one that's fallen by the wayside this year because I've just not had the schedule. Like, you know, I've not had the time to do it because, you know, we all have to be together on a certain day, and if you've got a pre-planned 6 people getting together, I don't know what I'm going to be doing next week. I've not got my schedule yet. It just doesn't work. So all of these things are things that I want to kind of claim back and get back into the habit of doing. Streamlining my shopping, like my food shopping. This is something that kind of rolls on from last year, where I'm mindful of what I'm buying. The reason I've put this down is that obviously I work in a grocer's now, so I can get a lot of my food from there. There's the specialist shops down the road, so there's no reason why I can't, you know, if I've got a late start, go in a bit early, get my food shopping for the week done, go to Little Fitzroy's and have a cup of tea, because any excuse to go there, you know, any excuse to start my day there, and I'm a very, very happy person. And it means that I'm not then, you know, going to work, coming home, going to my local Morrison's, which is never like fully stocked. It's so crap, my local Morrison's recently. So I'm then not going, and they've not got what I want, so I have to go somewhere else, and I have to go get this, and oh, I really fancy this, so I'm going to go get this. And it's like, no, I'm going to pre-plan, I'm going to get my shopping done so that, you know, I'm not buying excess things. I'm being mindful, because that's part of last year, of what I'm buying, when I'm buying it, why I'm buying it. And yeah, I'm just kind of keeping on top of that. What's the next bit? Sorry, I've got a cold on top of all this, because, you know, 'tis the season, hence the puffy eyes. Lovely puffy eyes. The next part, read more. So last year my goal was to read 24 books. I ended up with 26 in the end. But that was purely because I had 2 days off before I kind of got there. If I'd have been like working like normal, it just would not have happened. But because I had some time off, I managed to like get my goal and then get over it. So this year I'm going to push with that, because it's something that I've got books still in my Goodreads account that I started last year, like early last year, that I really need to finish. So I'm pushing this one. I want to read more, and my goal on Goodreads this year is 30 books. So if you're on Goodreads, go and check me out. I will put where I am in the link below, and yeah, we can spare each other on and see what we're reading and recommend things. And reading is fun, reading is good. So that's another one, another part of self-care, because, you know, it's all well and good saying, oh, I just want to read more. But for me, there's reading on the bus, which I'm not particularly good at, and it's, you know, I don't really do long journeys these days, so it's like 20 minutes. I'm not going to get much read because I'm a slow reader. For me, reading is about, you know, sitting down with a cup of tea, and Gigi and a blanket and just having a good relax. So again, it's part of that self-care because I'm taking time out to not look at my phone, to not answer people, to not, you know, ignore some messages, not pick up the phone. It's all about spending time just having a chill and reading my book, which is why it is in there. And it also is, you know, educational and good for you and good for your brain and all of that, but it's about taking time out, really. So 30 books this year, that is my goal, 30 books. Next thing I've got is taking time to stop and breathe, because again, so much has kind of fallen by the wayside, especially at the end of this year, because I've just not had the time. I've not had the time to sit and meditate. I've not had the time to sit and read. I've not even had the time to have a cup of tea some mornings before I'm like shooting out the door to do something. So this is about, again, maybe I have to set my alarm half an hour earlier. Maybe I have to, like, you know, do something to make that time. But it's about, you know, having a cup of tea in bed with the cat, having that time to sit and meditate for just 10-15 minutes before I go out, because it does make a huge difference. It makes a massive impact on how I feel for the day and how my day goes. So it's really important that I make time and I make space for these things, especially in the summer, according to my notes, because these are things that I've kind of sat and written over the last couple of weeks. Spending time on the balcony with Gigi in the summer, that is one of my favourite things to do, because Gigi loves it out there, and I love getting up early, because by the time it gets to 10 o'clock the sun's kind of like over the roof and it's heading out the back. I love getting out there early, sitting in the sun, reading my book, having a cup of tea, while Gigi's just going bonkers, like looking at birds and chasing them as they fly away, and I just love it. It's my favourite thing to do in the summer. So that's something that I don't want to miss out on. And it's something that I need to remember, and I need to make time and I need to make space for. Because, again, going back to what I was saying at the beginning, like, self-care sounds kind of selfish sometimes, but it has a knock-on effect, because I know how happy it makes Gigi to go out on the balcony in the morning. If I'm, you know, exhausted and sleeping in and just rushing out the door in the morning, he doesn't get that time. He doesn't get that thing to do. And he gets so excited about it, and it makes him so happy. So, yeah, it's that knock-on effect of making me happy and looking after me makes him happy. So, yeah. It makes sense. And the last thing I've got on my list is continued mindfulness. So journaling, what I'm eating and why, keeping on top of my self-care, and being more positive with my habits and less negative. So these kind of not like roll on from last year. The journaling thing, or just generally writing stuff down, helps, because it helps me pinpoint what's going wrong, why it's going wrong, what's going right, how I can, you know, continue with that, what I need to do. It helps with that self-care, because it helps you kind of pinpoint what needs to be done and how. I'm not saying I'm going to sit and write down stuff every single day, because again, I've not got the time right now. But where I do, like with this is to me a form of journaling, because it's helped me figure out what I want from this year and how I can achieve it. I'm not going to be able to do it every day, but it is going to be an integral part of my year to help me kind of figure out how I can improve things and how I can make myself a better and a happier person. What I'm eating and why. This is going to be an ongoing thing, because I have a horrible habit of just eating for the sheer hell of it, especially working in a place that is surrounding me with food. If I am, you know, if things are quiet and I am bored or I want something to do, I can just grab food and just eat it. That is not a good thing. So I need to keep on top of that. And that also ties into my food shopping, why I'm buying stuff. Do I really need it? That kind of thing. Keeping on top of self-care. That, like, again, it is my goal for the year. So being mindful of that and the journaling, it helps me. It all kind of, you know what I'm trying to say. It all makes sense. It all ties in together. Being more positive with my habits and keeping on top of less, or keeping on top of negative ones. So again, that's like the eating, the buying things that I don't need, which is all food related. Yeah, it all ties in together. So I've waffled on for 15 minutes now. Whoops. You get what I'm trying to say. That is my 2020 intentions. It is all about self-care. So yeah, tell me what yours are. What are your intentions for the year? What do you want to get out of 2020? And let me know in the comments below, because again, this is all about supporting each other. This isn't just about me being here being like, oh, hashtag self-care, this is what I'm doing. No, these videos are about, you know, keeping myself responsible for it, because if I put it out into the big wide world, you know, I've kind of got to do it because I'm holding myself accountable, and I'm doing it for myself. If it benefits other people, fantastic, that's brilliant, but mostly this is about keeping myself accountable for it. So, you know, let me know what you're doing below. If there's anything we can do to support each other, that's fantastic. That's what I love about the internet and getting to know people, you know, this kind of sense of wider community. So let me know. Thank you as always for watching. Thank you as always for your support, especially my patrons who are just absolutely fantastic. So thank you for everything. Happy New Year, and I'm sure I will see more of you as the year progresses. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.